Previously, Gabamaru perceived that Zujin is a monster, not a god. So, he stood up with a spirit to gather his friends to kill him. Now, Gabamaru is drenched in blood after a fierce fight with Tamiya, while standing tall and strong before Gabamaru. Tamiya is initially surprised by his speed of blows, as he was not expecting an equal-level duel from anyone. But as he learns that Gabamaru is not an ordinary criminal, but a trained fighter from the Shinobi clan, he admires Gabamaru's strength and fighting spirit, while Gabamaru is constantly planning how to attack Tamiya to defeat him. But watching the perfect duo of Tamiya and Yamada Asiman Fuchai, Gabamaru knows one thing. He cannot surpass them without getting hurt. Tamiya tries to weaken him psychologically by telling him that he looks weak and tired. So, he is sure Gabamaru will fall soon. But Gabamaru counterattacks by sharing his observation about Tamiya's fighting posture, that he has his center of gravity on the left side. The right side arm uses the sword so recklessly that it does not protect the other arm. When Gabamaru shares his judgment that Tamiya's left arm is injured, he doesn't think that Tamiya can use this arm in a fight. It amazes and angers Tamiya simultaneously, because only he knows that when he was in a duel, he twirled his sword, holding it in his right hand so ruthlessly that it cut his left hand. Hearing the truth about himself angers Tamiya. He takes out his sword and makes a deep cut in Gabamaru's stomach that nearly kills him. But Yamada Asiman Fuchai intervenes and stops them from fighting anymore. He is brainy and wants to fight, using his brain to win against all others. He does not want to waste time in useless fights. He shares information about each other's wrong and right fighting angles, as it's not Fuchai's concern. Gabamaru is only a medium to get information. Suddenly Gabamaru gets on his knees and bows before them. He offers them that it would be better if they worked together, because all of them will make a great team. Tamiya swings his sword in the air and puts its tip on Gabamaru's head. Expecting that a Sajiri clan's fighter would not bend so quickly, he judged Gabamaru to be a coward. But Fuchai stops him from humiliating Gabamaru, because she knows that his decision is not based on simply cowardly thoughts. Just then they remember the Tensin monster. Gabamaru managed to escape and fight. They are surprised if Tensin monsters are not killed by removing heads or burning bodies. Then what could be the possible way to end their lives? Asking Gabamaru, they suddenly remember that hitting Tensin's monster's organ may kill them. They want to make sure they are thinking right. Gabamaru shares that he does not know how to end Tensin monsters. But one thing that he knows is he is willing to do anything that would earn his freedom. As it's the only way to meet someone, he requests them to take him in. Tamiya agrees at once while Fuchai thinks for a while. That is it profitable to get a competitor into their team. But Tamiya assures him that it's a great decision. When they would confront Tensin monsters in Horai, Gabamaru will be a worthy companion. Because winning freedom is not Tamiya's goal. But he has come so far to improve his swordsman skill and become immortal. By becoming immortal, he does not mean he wants to consume the elixir of life himself. But upon reaching there, he wants to do something better and more significant. That would make him a legend and people would remember his name in history. Hearing this, Fuchai says he has a relatively simple goal, as he wants to meet Tensin monsters because he wants to see immortals. They all join their sword and pledge their allegiance. Smiling with determination, Tamiya shares that he wants to kill Tensin, while Fuchai will dissect them to know their bodies. After making a deal, they turn towards Mei, who is regaining her consciousness. Gabamaru is surprised to see her as a grown-up girl. Turning towards her, he doubts how a little girl can grow so fast. Tamiya relaxes him, telling Gabamaru that it's normal on this island. But Gabamaru is so surprised to see that Mei has even started speaking. Rapidly approaching Mei, Gabamaru grabs her from her arms and shakes her to ask about the elixir, as she belongs to this island, therefore she knows many secrets. But then Gabamaru remembers that he owes his life to Mei as she saved him. Hence, he bends before her and requests her to speak, as they want to know if she is one of the Tensin monsters. On the other hand, Sajiri is on her journey on the island with Senta, who shares the information he collected so far. Hauko told him that Tensins are gods and they can scan the souls in their territory. Now, Senta is sure that the whole island is man-made. It's not a sacred place and a real Shinsenkyo. All the words and names on this island are derived from other religious books. He believes that some intelligent people combine a few elements and religious cultures. It's all mixed up in a way that anyone who analyzes it can know that it's the work of a human. And Senta knows who can do this, it's Moromakia. The clever man initially created a new religion, and now Senta has found flaws in its design. The monster and design of the island are defective. Now, Senta has joined the puzzle pieces and reached a conclusion. That creator initially wanted only those who changed into flowers to return from this island. And now, if they use this hint as a clue, Then they can make their way to return with the elixir. Yuzuriha is quite impressed with Senta's collection of information, but Senta is sorry as he spoke too much about many things. Yuzuriha raises her concern that they would not easily find a way to break the rules of this island, the rules that have been working here for 1,000 years. Moreover, their great fighter Gabamaru is not with them, so they doubt that he would be dead somewhere on this island. But Sajiri secretly knows that Gabamaru's goal is to escape the island, and meet his wife would not let him die, assuring them he must be alive, fighting and plotting as he desperately wants to return. That's the Gabamaru she knows. On the other hand, Gabamaru wants Mei to speak about what she knows about Tensin and how to kill them. She has just started speaking and can barely utter a few words. Therefore, she spoke the word Tao, but she could not explain what Tao is and how it is related to Tensin monsters. While traveling on their path, Hauko explains to Senta and Sajiri that Tao is the main thing that flows through the body. It's the essence of the soul. Yuzuriha kept listening, and when she could not understand, she yawned and whispered to herself. She urgently needs a master who can teach her all problematic things. On the other part of the island, Nurugai is covering her journey after the death of Tensa, as Tensa's master, Shin, is with her. But suddenly she attacks Master Shin from behind and wants to kill him. But Master Shin, besides being blind, controls her attack from behind and puts the sword back on the cover. Shouting angrily, she asks Shin to teach her how to use a sword, because Tensin killed her beloved Tenza and she wants to take revenge. But Shin disagrees because he is heartbroken too after young Tenza's death. Assuring her that he will seek revenge, he tells Nurugai that he will not teach her how to use a sword, as he cannot watch another innocent die. Hearing this, Nurugai's heart breaks and she begins crying. But that does not melt Shin's heart, and he even stops her from calling him her master, as he has not taught her anything and does not intend to teach anything in the future. But in response to her constant pleading, Master Shin begins telling her that bond between a master and a student does not build overnight, and through waves, he can sense what others look like and how they handle a sword. By those waves, he knows Nurugai's physique and how she looks. Hauko explains that Tao is a calm state of mind. That stage is between rage and extreme calmness, a perfect balance, which makes a person immune to injuries and able to win over any opponent. On the other hand, Shin explains how the waves are essential to gain the perfect balance. Let alone that balance, Nurugai does not even know how to hold a sword properly. Hearing that, Nurugai requests him once again to be her master. Therefore, holding the sword in his hand, Master Shin shares his valuable knowledge, while Nurugai learns for the first time how to properly hold a sword, as Shin told her to hold it loosely before the attack and tightly only when she is about to strike it. At the same time, a monster stands behind Shin. But before Nurugai could inform blind Master Shin about the monster, he waved his sword and killed him. After which, he kept killing monsters one after another with high precision. Killing them, Master Shin kept teaching Nurugai how he could sense the waves of every monster. Along with the fight, he instructs Nurugai about her position and that it would be best to use the sword. Therefore, she begins killing monsters alongside Master Shin, while Shin thinks to himself that he won't be able to fight against the powerful monsters. Therefore, the only way to survive and win is through the practice. On the other hand, Tamiya picks Mei in his hands after killing deadly monsters before him. Asking Mei what to do next, he tells everyone that practicing is the only way to polish the skill. Therefore, they must keep killing monsters. While two Tensins make love with each other, one suggests throwing humans into flower pits without killing. That way, they would never escape and keep making others like themselves. But they don't know that Aza and his brother in the flower pit did not restrict them to pit. They climbed up, and now Toma wants to escape the island as soon as possible. But after fighting with strange Tensins that are neither male nor female, Aza wants revenge and does not want to leave the island without killing them. In planning against Tensin's monsters, Aza has come up with an effective strategy to chop them from the lower bodies, as he has watched them regenerating from the lower body. So, he thinks that their life originated from lower parts. Toma appreciates Aza's observation. When Aza picks a dead man's limb to eat, Toma fiercely refuses and denies his brother too. Just then a strange creature arrives who wants to talk. Initially, Toma and Aza think he is also a monster and want to kill him, but he assures them that he is only there to convey a message. Introducing himself, he explains that they are Doshi. They are different from Sashins, who are brainless monsters, and they are not allowed entry into their holy place Horai, while his companions are currently with other humans on the island on the task from Tensin to guide them. He is here to convey the message that Aza and Toma should immediately return to the hole. Just as Aza heard it, he angrily grabbed Doshi's arm while Doshi resisted. But Aza broke Doshi's hand and they can regenerate their body organs. Therefore, like stems grow from plants, the Doshi's body begins growing from the site of a broken arm. And within a matter of a few seconds, it regenerated. Now, he doubts that Aza is so calm and assertive that it looks like he has used Tao. Asking Aza, he refuses and mocks Doshi that it's easiest to kill him than anything else. Just then Doshi calls many brainless Sashins, who arrive immediately. But that does not divert Aza's attention, and asking Toma to fight other Sashin monsters. He keeps fighting Doshi himself. But when Doshi sees that Aza does not get tired and stop even after so many injuries, Doshi uses the Tao power to know Aza's physical capabilities as a last option. The same power allows someone to see other waves and judge how their body works. Seeing inside Aza, Doshi finds a blind spot near his right eye. Immediately after knowing this, Doshi attacks Aza and throws him by punching him. Toma immediately turns towards Aza, who is lying on the ground, badly injured and unconscious. Comment below for next part and subscribe to Annie Summary for more anime recaps.